Hello everyone, you are welcome to this class. So in this video we want to continue from where we stopped on our fractions, and today we want to look at comparing fractions. We want to see uh, when you have two or more fractions to be able to determine which one is bigger and which one is smaller. So that is what we want to look at in this video. So there are basically just few steps to comparing fractions. For this level, we'll be looking at two fractions to determine which one is bigger, which one is smaller. All right. So we're going to be looking at two steps to determine that. So the first step here is to make the denominators of the two fractions the same. So we must make sure that the two fractions have the same denominator. So for example, if the first one is 3 over 5, the first one is 3 over 5, uh, and the second one is 2 over 5. So you can see that the denominators are the same here. So once the denominators are the same, it will be easier for us to compare which one is big and which one is small. So the second step is after making the denominators to be the same, then we can then use the numerator to determine which one is bigger. So just like the example that I just gave now, so we have 3 over 5 and then 2 over 5. So since denominators are the same, we could see that we now use numerator to determine which one is bigger, and 3 is more than 2, is greater than 2. In that case, this fraction will then be this is greater than. So that means 3 over 5 is greater than 2 over 5. So that's, by the way, that is not where we're going. You can see this is just so let's now look at example and see how we can solve problems on comparing what fractions. So the first example we have here is this. So which is greater, 5 over 8 and 3 over 4. Now the first thing that should come to your mind is that these two fractions have different denominators. So they don't have the same denominators, and then since they have different denominators, we can make use of equivalent fractions that we have learned in our previous video to make these fractions have common denominators. So in that case, how do we now make, so since the first one is 5 over 8 and the second one is 3 over 4, so we look at denominators. Denominators are 8 and 4. So which means we're going to consider the bigger one to change the smaller one to the same denominator of the bigger one. So in that case, we're going to say that 3 over 4, we're going to make it have a denominator of what? 8. So which means we are looking for a number that we can multiply by 4 that will give us what? 8. That's what we're talking about. So if denominators of this 3 over 4 is 8, then denominators can be the same. Then we can then compare the numerator to get which of the two fractions is what? Bigger. I hope I'm making sense. All right. So what number are we going to multiply by 4 to get 8 is what we need to look into now. So what number is that we can use is when you can use 2 to multiply 4, and that will give us what? 8. Or probably you can say that you can say uh, 8 divided by 4. When you divide 8 by 4, you're going to get 2. So it is that 2 that we're going to multiply by 4 that will give us what? 8. I hope that is clear, right? So in that case, we're going to multiply 4 by 2, and that will give us what? 8. I hope this is clear, right? So once we have multiplied the denominator by 2, we have to multiply the numerator as well by what? By 2. So that will make this uh, fraction equivalent. So we can write 3 here. If you write 3 here, if you write 3 here, so this will be wrong. So you have to multiply 3 by 2 as well to make the fractions equivalent. So that will give us what? 6. So you can make this fraction to have the same. So in that case, so the next stage, now we have converted 3 over 4 to equivalent fraction of 6 over what? 8. So the next stage is now to compare the two fractions now. So don't forget, we have the two fractions we have are 5 over 8 and 3 over 4. And 3 over 4 has been converted to 6 over 8, equivalent of 6 over 8. So which means we are comparing this and this. All right. So since they have the same denominators now, we're going to compare their numerator to determine which one is bigger. So which means we have 5 here and the other one, which is what, 6 as well. So it's 6. So in that case, so which of the two of them is greater? You can see 5 is less than 6. So in that case, we can conclude that 5 over 8 is less than 3 over 4 because 5 is less than 6. How about is very clear to you. So that is how you can compare to fractions. Let's look at one more example before we end this class today. All right, so let's have this example. Here is another example to try. We have 10 over 14 and 6 over 21. So the question asks us which is bigger. Now, one thing you're going to look at in this case is that you see 21 and 14. So what we're going to do, we're going to look for the least common factor that can we can the least common denominator that we can have 14 and 21 to. So that means what number can divide 14 and can also divide 21? So the only number that can divide 14 and can divide 21 is 7. So which means we are going to change the two fractions to a denominator of 7. That's what it means. So since 7 can divide both of them. So instead of multiplying, we're going to divide in this case. That's what the most important thing we're going to do here. So what we're going to do now, step 1 is that we want to make the denominator to be the same. So, and we have different denominators here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to change this 14, we divide it, we want to reduce it to 7. We want to reduce 14 to 7. So how do we do that? So we simplify the fraction. So how we're going to simplify it is to divide it by 2. So when divide 14 by 2, we're going to get, we're going to divide 10 by 2, we get 5. And when we divide 14 by 2, we're going to get what? 7. So the same thing we go for the second fraction, 6 over 21. So we're going to, for us to get 7 in 21, which means you have to divide by 3. So which means we are going to divide the numerator by 3, we get 2, and we also divide the denominator by 3, we get 7. And you can now see that we have 7 as the denominator here, we also have 7 as the denominator. Am I with you? So in that case, so we can then go to step 2 by comparing the numerators. So compare the numerators in this case. So this is 5 over 7 and this is what? 2 over 7. So 5 is greater than 2. Therefore, that means that 10 over 14 is greater than what? 6 over 21. So we conclude that that is going to give us this. I hope this is very clear. All right, so you can see that this is very, very simple. So once you're able to get it correctly. So it's your turn. Let's look at this. Try the next two questions I'm going to display now. So what you're going to do is that the first question, I'm going to display it. This is the first question, which is larger, 5 over 6 or 11 over 12. So we're going to pause this video now, pause it and solve it. Then I'll display the, before you move forward, pause it. Then the second question is this, which is larger, 15 over 40 or 2 over 8. So we're going to pause it. So after pausing it, then I will display the answer. So let's have the answer now. Let's have the answer. So the answers are this. So the first question, 5 over 6 is less than 11 over 12. And why? The second question, 15 over 14, 40 is greater than 2. So you can put your answer, your workings in the comment section. So that is that on the comparing fractions. Don't forget to recap. So for you to compare two fractions, the first step is that make the denominators be the same. And after making the denominator to be the same, then you can then compare the numerators to determine which one is what larger. So that is that we have for you in this video. I hope you find this video useful and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to this channel so that you can have access to more interesting videos like this. So we're going to meet in our next class. So bye for now. Thank you.